Good morning, class. After our field trip to see the movie The Last Jedi yesterday, I thought that we would start up with a warm up with a picture from the movie of two of the favorite characters from the movie, Rose and Finn. I know a lot of you guys like them. I like them too. But first, can anyone remind me of what the five W's are? We learned about them a while back. That's right. Who, what, when, where, and why. So now let's see if we can apply the five W's to the picture of Rose and Finn. So who, right? Rose and Finn. And what? So what refers to what's going on, what's happening in the picture. They're angry at each other, yes. And why? Right. Remember, Finn was distracted by the casino and Rose wanted to stay on mission. Exactly. And when? So, when can refer to a time period or it can refer to where we are in the plot of a larger story. So, in this case, right, we're in the eighth episode of the Star Wars series. And where are we in the film, in the plot line? Right. So this is taking place after the rebellion learned that the First Order was tracking the rebellion's light speed jumps. Exactly. And where? Right. At the Canto Bay Casino. Exactly. And why? Right. Because their mission was to find a hacker at the casino so that they could break into the First Order ship. Great job, guys. You really followed the plot line of the movie. That's great. So now that we've warmed up, let's talk about today's objectives. The reason why we were just refreshing our memories about the five W's is because it's an important part of summarizing. And we are going to be working on summarizing today. So today we are going to learn how to summarize. We're going to talk about why summarizing is important. We're going to practice summarizing, and then we're going to start summarizing the excerpt from Me Talk Pretty One Day that you read last night. And then tonight, you'll be submitting those summaries via our classes learning management system. Okay? And then tomorrow, we are going to start pre-writing essays that are related to the Me Talk Pretty One Day excerpt. And then Friday, you'll be submitting those essays also to the learning management system. So, what is a summary? Does anybody know what a summary is? Yeah, it's a short version of something. Exactly. And that something can be a book, a movie, an article, a podcast. It could be class. It could be a lecture that you heard. Okay. And note that summary is a noun and to summarize is a verb. So, an example of summarize in a sentence is, would you summarize that article for me because I'm not planning on reading it? Okay. And the definition of a summary is a brief statement. It's usually in a paragraph form that explains the main points of something, which is different than a gist. So a gist is something briefer and it has more of a feeling or a sentiment to it. It's usually just a sentence or a couple of words. Why is it so important to know how to summarize? So we summarize every day in our regular lives. We summarize when we're explaining a news article to a family member. We summarize when we're explaining a movie plot line to a friend. If a classmate misses class, we summarize a class for them. And also in school and in work, frequently you're asked to summarize something. So, what makes a good summary? So, a summary needs to be clear to someone who hasn't read or seen or heard the original material, meaning the book or the article or the podcast or the movie. It needs to include all the main points, but not too, it shouldn't be too specific. So it shouldn't include dates or statistics, for example, unless those are essential to explain the main points, but usually you wouldn't use them. You want to keep it short, and you want to be objective, meaning you won't be including your own opinion about the subject matter. But you do want to use your own words when you're summarizing, meaning you're not going to be pulling out direct quotes out of whatever it is that you're summarizing. Okay? Any questions? No. Okay. How to write a good summary. So the first step is in the reading. When you're reading the text, you want to be marking up the text. And what are you marking up? You're starring those 5 W's, which are the main points. So you're looking for the who, what, when, where, and why. And then you also want to make sure that you're marking things that you don't understand, so you go back and reread them again to make sure that you understand. And then the second step is in the writing. So the summary is going to follow a normal paragraph format. In the topic sentence, you want to include the title and give credit to the author, speaker, director of the movie. In the supporting sentences, you want to include the main points. So those are the 5 W's. And you want to try to keep the main points in the order that they came up in whatever it is that you're summarizing. The exception would be in a story that might be told out of chronological order, and then you can go ahead and put the events in chronological order. But that probably isn't going to come up very often. And then you have a concluding sentence. So any questions? Okay, great. So now let's try summarizing together. We're going to watch this short by Pixar called Piper. And let's take notes as we watch. Look for those 5 W's. Take notes like you would be taking notes if you were reading a story. And then we will summarize it together.